I'm Jason from Smoking and Drinking in Space, a sci-fi podcast from a couple guys who think they know sci-fi.
And I'm Rob from Smoking and Drinking in Capes, a superhero podcast from a couple guys who wish they had powers.
And we're part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now.
Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others.
And you can find other cool, awesome, geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
I hit the wrong button if you're watching on video, and I just didn't take the time to flip things over. But yes, welcome to episode 522 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. It's recorded live on Thursday afternoon, 4/20, 2023. I'm Chris. Joining me today, my usual band of misfit co-hosts. Happy 420 for those that partake.
Oh,
Happy
shit,
birthday,
it is
Killer
420.
Mike. Yeah, it is Killer Mike. Or it is 420. Happy birthday, Killer Mike. That's the birthday we celebrate today.
It is indeed 420 day. I only realized it sort of by accident because, for those that are unaware, I work from home right now most of the time. So I work from this desk, and when I'm working, I listen to music, and I have Sirius XM for dirt cheap, so I stream their Turbo channel most of the time, which is like 90s and 2000s rock. And I made a realization like at 9 a.m. this morning that, everything they talk about in their breaks is about getting high, and all of their song titles are all words that would relate to getting high and stuff like that. I was like, this is an interesting day.
There you go.
Or, because for instance, they played Marilyn Manson Dope multiple times throughout the day and things like that. And it was all song titles or songs with lyrics that they could tie back to doing pot or doing drugs. And it
Look
just
at
made
us.
me laugh.
We're having fun, guys.
It is.
This is company-wide fun day, right?
Well,
just make sure we're going to test you next Tuesday.
yeah, that's probably what I was joking. And I was also joking with my coworkers. It's like, this is going to be the time. If I get randomly drug tested next week, it's because I've been listening to this channel all day and laughing about the fact that they've been making pot references all day long.
I mean, can't you make better ones than the Dope Show?
Well,
Come
that was just
on.
one of them. They were talking about crossfade. They played a bunch of songs from
low-hanging
crossfade and things like
fruit.
that.
Just low-hanging fruit.
What do you expect on the high holiday, Willie?
Willie, when you're spending a whole day making playlists about getting high and smoking pot, eventually you're going to have to change things up. And if you're the hard rock channel, it's not like you can just throw Bob Marley on all the time.
I mean, how often do they play Shine Down?
A lot.
Oh my God. Let me guess. When they want to tune up the hardness, they go for Five Finger Death Punch, don't they?
They do.
Oh,
or Disturbed.
God, I hate Five Finger Death.
Ooh,
I mean,
get down with the
Disturbed's not bad.
sickness.
I like
That's
Disturbed.
that's
I like
good
Five
voice.
Finger Death
He has a
Punch.
good voice.
And some Tool and things like that.
Nice.
There's a lot of Tool on that channel. I enjoy Tool. I got to see them in concert shortly before the pandemic. That was fun. It's a great live show, and if you ever get to go to one of their live shows, they make a point of saying, hey, we don't allow any photography, things like that, but wait until the last song. Then you guys can get your camera phones out and stuff like that. Take as much photo and video as you want, because they don't want people doing photo and video and not paying attention to the show.
There you go.
But how many people are actually going to listen?
Well, people that didn't were escorted out by the ushers. Yeah.
God damn, how vigil do you have to be to scan?
They had
everything
a
else?
shitload of ushers there when I went, and it was a sold out venue too.
That's
Also, if you're standing at the back of a crowd facing the stage, it's pretty easy to see the jackass that's like this with their phone up.
Also true.
Like,
And-
they're pretty fucking easy
And you
to
know what?
see.
They have a point. Like, if you're standing behind a bunch of people who have their cameras up recording, you can't see the show. You just see glowing phones in front of you, and it's annoying.
Yeah. You see
So-
a bunch of jackasses that are recording a video that they won't watch later
No,
because they're not in the moment.
no, they're going to post it to Instagram for clout. That's what
Oh.
they're doing.
I mean, I guess it is Tool. I was just thinking, pits are still a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess Tool isn't really. I mean, are they? I don't know.
I think it depends on the song. I can
they
see a, I
seem
can
like
see
they
a
have
pit.
hit songs.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's not like you're going. It's not like a Korn concert where the whole bottom level is basically a giant mosh pit.
Where everybody's a monkey.
Did you just go to Korn?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blood for the Blood God. Corn.
Have you ever been to a Korn concert? They're quite good in concert.
No, I did randomly happen into an Amon Amarth concert.
I saw Korn in Brussels, Belgium. It was a good show.
Nice.
I have the poster from it somewhere because they put posters up all over town, and after the tour, like the adhesive was weak on them, so a bunch of us were just taking them down off of the walls they'd affixed them to around town. It was a little beat up and stuff, but it was from the Issues tour because that was right around the same time that the Issues album came out. So 98, I want to say 98, 99.
So I mean, we all do it every time the song comes on. We all do the whole mouth thing, the blah, 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 blah,
Oh yeah,
right? Every time.
Of course, you have to. That one gets me, and then anytime Rammstein's on and does Du Hast, I always find myself going along.
He didn't agree.
Oh shit!
He didn't agree.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I don't know if you didn't notice that, but he didn't agree.
I just don't like agreeing with Willie.
But am I right? You don't have to agree. Okay, there you go.
That was agreement right there.
Yeah, it's November 99. Yeah, was Issues.
So I want to say it was in 99, that tour. 99 or 2000. But like the poster was just the cover of Issues.
They gave the album away with any pair of Jinko jeans.
Pretty much. Because you could fit like 30 copies of the album in your back pocket. Just one back pocket. I had a couple pairs of Jinko jeans back in the day, and evidently they're coming back and becoming retro or something. And I'm like,
I'm happy I never did.
They're cool.
Thank you, Mom, for well, I guess I never asked for them, so I never would.
They were great for rollerblading
because
they easily went over the top of your rollerblades.
Exactly. If you skated, they covered your skates real well. Willie, did you not skate? You weren't part of that generation where everyone skated for a time period.
Am.
So am I.
Coordinated up to skate.
I skated. I didn't skateboard, but I did rollerblade.
I mean, I kind of rollerbladed, but not with any kind of skill.
Willie just had his Fisher-Price roller skates. That's what he did.
I did it as well as Buzz Lightyear flies.
Did you have Fisher-Price roller skates you just clipped over your shoes, and that's how you did it?
I don't know if that's safer or more dangerous.
I don't know either. Well,
I mean, probably more dangerous, yeah.
It's safer than those Heeley shoes that kids have. It's better.
Those things were so painful.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. I wish I sort of did skate sometimes still, just for fun, not necessarily for doing tricks and things like that. But we got a big rail trail system here, and that'd be pretty fun to do.
I will say I did have to have the 4-wheel skates whenever I did go to the skating rink, as you did.
That was a thing in our time. Is there'd always be like Friday night skating and things like that. Yeah.
No inlines for this size feet.
I took my inlines with me. I used them.
Yeah, I didn't skate enough though.
I didn't have expensive.
When I was going to the
ones,
roller drome, inline skates didn't exist yet.
Like 3rd or 4th grade, that's like all my friends and I did after school was hang out outside and skate around and do stupid stuff.
So nothing's changed.
I don't skate around anymore. I still just
the
go
boys are back in town.
I just drive around and do stupid things now. Yeah. I don't think I should buy that. Oh, fuck it. I only live once. I'm buying it. What the hell am I going to do with this?
Out.
Oh, no, I don't go out much when it's snowed out. Not because I don't trust my skill, but because I don't trust the idiots around me.
That's why you go around at 2 a.m. when no one's out. Like,
I mean, Willie, I drive a Subaru. I can go anywhere in the snow. It's not a problem.
Just suck all the fun out then. Just go ahead.
I can't really go and do donuts in my Subaru.
Not with that attitude.
You got to try really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's possible. You could do it.
I mean, almost anything is possible. Not everything is possible, though.
This is one of those things.
Are you sure?
Let's go try it.
Where are we going to find snow on 420 in the continental United States without having to go way into the mountains?
Boise, on. You know where we have actual mountains? Yeah, we still have snow in the mountains.
Yeah.
Bitch, I live in the Appalachian Mountains. I got mountains.
In the Appalachian Mountains, I'm sure there's snow.
You mean them foothills?
I lived in the Rockies too. Don't be slut shaming my Appalachian Mountains.
No, those. It's always wet when Willie comes.
Them tiny ass little hills.
Oh. It's not like we're Kansas over here in this bitch.
Listen to the size queen over here.
Yeah.
This is the size queen.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the altitude of my city down in the valley I live in is higher than the highest peak on the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah, the Rockies are mountains. Appalachians is a hiccup.
I've lived in the Rockies too. I've lived it all.
I have spoken, Willie.
I lived
have spoken.
I lived in the Springs for many years. In the Springs.
Which springs? There's about 1,000 springs.
Colorado Springs.
Okay. Those are some high-ass cities. Right
They
there.
are.
That's some trouble breathing height right there.
What are we talking
I've
about?
hiked Pikes Peak.
Talk about mountains, Willie. Actual mountains.
And gotten altitude sickness because I was so high up, and it took like 30, 40 minutes once I hit a certain point to be able to get my breath back and not be nauseous. Altitude sickness is a real thing, dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awful. Yeah, just driving to Denver, like you can get sick just driving.
There's a reason why they train Olympic athletes in Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can do Olympic level shit there, you will kick the shit out of any normal human at sea level.
But you're gonna perform like shit for like the first 6 months you're there.
Oh yeah. Because I think the Army's national wrestling team practices there too.
Is oxygen technically a drug in that case?
No.
No, because you're not altering how anything is going in or out of your body. You are literally just changing the altitude, which is making it to where there's less
the
oxygen
content.
Oh, when you go back down to sea level, you are.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. That's of course what I mean at that point.
But
So
the other
you are
people that you're
pumping in more.
the people that you're competing against are receiving the same amount of oxygen. It's just having a better benefit for you.
You've just trained
because
in
you
a
trained at
different
high
manner.
altitude.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. The one I heard that's
I
weird
was
is
just a
apparently
shower thought, man. I thought it was
Mexico-
all right for a shower thought.
You're in the
when they
shower.
did UFC, when they did UFCs in Mexico City, they had the same problem
I
because
mean,
Mexico
you threatened me
City,
with a good time, Chris.
Mexico City is really high, so people had altitude sickness if they weren't prepared when they went to fight in the UFCs there.
Other way.
No, I'm looking away on purpose. No.
Now you're just looking up Bachman's ass. What do I care?
No.
Willie doesn't understand that
Without
reference yet.
consent.
Yeah.
All right, before we get into the news, Willie, now that Mandalorian season 3 is done, are you going to watch it? Because you were waiting to binge.
Some point in time.
At some point.
Some point in time. No rush.
Man,
It's so good.
you
The
get-
ending was so
you get
good.
Mandalorians flying around, killing shit, slicing and dicing, shooting, blowing things up. It's so much fun.
Yeah, how about this? Let me mark it on my calendar right here. Watch it as soon as Chris messages me that he saw a great movie called The Fifth Element. Done.
That was coming.
Well, I can send you that message right now. It doesn't mean it's true.
That doesn't mean he watched.
You didn't say it had to be true.
I mean, I guess I don't really have to watch Mandalorian.
You're only hurting yourself.
Same with you.
Yeah, you're both only hurting yourself not watching something good just out of pure stubbornness.
No,
You're
it's
both a couple of jackanapes.
It's mostly just because I've got so much crap I want to watch, I tend to forget about it. I've got a stack of movies I bought before
Chris,
this
you know,
Christmas
if this
break.
is a whole joke that you actually have seen it. You should let at least us in on the joke. I mean, even if they're in the after show when it's just us, or before this, you could just tell us. You know,
Willie.
right? If this is just a big sham.
Willie, do you think I've watched it yet?
No, not
You think
really.
about it.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
You think about it. Do it.
Yeah, what we can't see is off to the side of Spider-Man, he actually has a life-size Mila Jovovich holding up her multipass in
Okay,
full
thank God.
Lilu outfit.
Well, yeah, but I was glad
He
it's
owns
not
the
with the other
destroyer
one.
gun. It's just behind
That's
his camera,
weird.
so we can't see it.
I mean, most
a-
of my good prop replicas aren't on camera. They're all upstairs.
He has
I'm-
He has a full Zorg cosplay.
If
that
you
he
guys
wears
want,
on
I'll
the
just
weekend.
bring Stormbreaker down here sometime, and I can just hold it throughout the show.
Nice.
It's pretty
That'd
great.
be cool.
I can bring Mjolnir too, and I can just have both of them.
I wish I had somewhere in the office to put my Captain America shield. It's hanging up on the wall in my garage.
Put it on the back of your door.
In case you accidentally
You mean where
hit
the
it,
comic book
hit
pages
the
are?
wall.
I can't see the comic book pages because the way the light's hitting in there. It just
Oh,
looks
no,
like a
that-
white.
We're still having. I haven't fixed. We're still having leaking above that door problem. So
I mean,
it's not completely patched. So there's
look-
no. I'm not putting the $1,000 worth of Ryan Otley artwork back on that door until I'm sure no water is ever going to come down again.
here's what I would tell you: is you got a bunch of Funko Pops. I'm sure you could relocate some of those to hang up a Captain America shield.
Yeah, they're all basically at the top of the room.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out somewhere. At some point, that shield's got to make its way in here. It's just a good question of where I'm going to put it.
I think the pop bubble might have burst based off how many they threw away because they just couldn't sell them.
I know I'm never using their fucking app again, so yeah. For those that don't know, Funko Pop has decided to start doing things like DC and shooting themselves in the foot, and they erased everybody's wish lists and collections on their app. So where they actually bought, because, it's a multi-part step. So because their app sucked, there was another company out there that was called the Pop Collector that had made an app that worked perfectly to scan Funko Pops, and boom, it would collect them for you. Kept track of all the information, had all of it in there. Funko bought out that company, took their software, put it back in their app, didn't work at first, and then finally figured out how to get it to work. About, 2 weeks ago, everybody's collections got erased, which, I'm not happy about it. I have like 300 Funko Pops. Polyester, who plays DBD and is a big Funko Pop collector, that's a guy that has like 3,500 Funko Pops collected in the app to track how much they're worth, if you're trying to sell them, buy them, all of that. He had lost all of that information, rescanned his entire collection, and it deleted them again. Yeah.
There's no way to do I would assume that their app would have an export feature at some point in time so that you could have a copy of your, that sucks.
Nope. They lost everything, and so far the response has been that Funko doesn't give a shit. Yeah. And so, literally people online, I follow a bunch of Funko Pop collectors, and a bunch of people online are just like, I'm just building a spreadsheet. I'm doing an Excel spreadsheet because it's the only thing I know that will actually keep the fucking information. Because some of these people, I could probably go buy a Funko Pop and not remember if I own it or not because I've got a couple hundred. But, you got the people out there that have 3, 4, 5,000 of these things. If they don't have an app to check on their phone, they don't know if they own something when they go out shopping sometimes, and you don't want to buy duplicates unless you're wanting to buy duplicates on purpose. So, not having the app is a real pain in the ass. And, apparently Funko just does not give a fuck. So that company is not looking very great right now.
Breaking news. If for those of you that care, Elmo took away the blue check mark from verified people just a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's unverified.
Everybody's unverified because it's his big 420 gag. How edgelord meme of him.
Yeah, he's the funniest douchebag that got money from his parents ever.
The only reason I know is because the first tweet that popped up on my timeline was John Silver, Johnny Hungy himself. Now that Twitter took away my verification, I'm not even sure who I am anymore. He's the meat man. The meat man.
The meat man.
Meat.
It is so ridiculous to see a guy that's like, how can he be that big and that small at the same time? It's very strange.
I want to say he's probably like 5'6", 5'8", something like that, and the dude is just jacked as hell.
Yeah, it's just when everybody he works with is 6'1" to 6'5", he looks like a midget. But he also looks like a midget that's 300 pounds of solid muscle. He's huge and tiny. It's very strange. It is hilarious to see him throw around like big guys.
Oh, and our good friend Cody Goff, who's been verified for many times. There goes my check mark and my pants. And he followed it up with...
I don't know why Elon Musk took his pants, but that's just weird.
And he followed it up with, if you thought I was unhinged after I left my job at a billion-dollar multimedia conglomerate, just wait till you see me after losing the check mark. It's even less responsibility than before.
Oh, Scarlet Spider. All the power, none of the responsibility.
So that news was Twitter's still a thing, and I keep forgetting about it.
It is. It is still a thing.
The problem is that's how I've curated a lot of my news and geek stuff is by following the right crowd there. And as long as those people are still using it, I gain some knowledge from it. But I have pretty much set up a tool that auto-deletes pretty much all my tweets that are any older than 2 months old, I think it is. So there's not a bunch of back history they're going to have from me as this thing goes.
Can't catch me! Just in case cover my bases and things, in case anything in the future looks bad.
Well, it's partially that, but partially so they don't have all sorts of data they can mine about me for the various things I've said over, 12 years I've been on Twitter, something like that. I had a crap load of tweets before I deleted most of them.
Yeah, I don't want to read any of them. I know how bad you were.
Yeah, really I left all mine there. I don't care. I stand by everything I said, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a thing called nuance that some people don't get.
Though I'm weirdly seeing that
exactly.
apparently also there's a rumor now that Adam Driver is reportedly in final talks to be Reed Richards.
So I'd seen that on Reddit yesterday,
that.
and all right, let's prefix this by saying, hey, we're going to roll on into our news of the week and play a bump. We're not actually going to do it. You guys know what news of the week is. We got to
Rumor mill.
We got to keep this show going quick because we got to bail in like 45 minutes because I've got prior commitments. But there was a rumor that I'd seen on Reddit that then got linked back to a leaker that is reported on Twitter before that had news that ended up being right, I think, about Star Wars and Marvel before. That supposedly Adam Driver and Marvel/Disney are in final talks right now for him to sign up to be Reed Richards. He's a good actor, and don't judge him by what you saw in Star Wars, because Star Wars was not the best vessel for him to portray that.
Yeah. He's a great actor, and if you just saw 65, like he could make like bullshit science stuff sound real, which that's a skill you need to have if you're going to play Reed Richards.
I can honestly say Adam Driver is not who I had pictured as Reed Richards, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm not a believer. I don't think that I don't think they can't pull it off. If that makes sense.
It's a good call if it's real. All right, what is wrong with you? Adam Driver's awesome. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't been amazed by Logan Lucky yet, that's on you.
Now, correction. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I didn't see it at first until it was announced, and I kind of went, "Oh, okay."
Well, I saw that's not one I had on. Like, oh yeah, that is a good call.
Yeah, that's not one I had my list of actors I would have thought to cast as Reed Richards, but. Yeah, I've seen Adam Driver. What was that? We watched. There's a family movie with Adam Driver, Jason Bateman, a bunch of other really good actors where like the dad dies and they all come home to sit Shiva for 7 days, supposedly per the dad's last request when he died. And one of the brothers is Adam Driver. One of the other brothers is Jason Bateman. Great freaking movie. But yeah, Adam Driver's amazing in that. Like the guy is just a hell of a good actor. And yeah, I mean, I saw 65. He fought dinosaurs and made it look realistic.
So I'll be blunt. Part of me is also kind of surprised that after dealing with Disney before in regards to Star Wars, that he's not necessarily opposed to sign another multi-picture deal to play a character there. Now, I don't think that Adam Driver's really said anything really negative about his Star Wars experience, but a lot of the cast of the sequel trilogy is kind of not been too keen on reprising their roles and scoffed at the thought of doing it. Like John Boyega outright said no, he would never do it, and Oscar Isaac I think said something similar, and it's the reason why they only signed him to one season of Moon Knight at first, because he didn't want to get locked into something long term.
Yeah, well, that makes sense too, because it would also be, I mean, whoever they were working for under Disney under Star Wars, which all of that comes down to Kathleen Kennedy. If they don't like how they were treated there, doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't enjoy working under the Kevin Feige house on the Marvel side.
I mean, that's true. I guess there's a distinct difference between how Marvel runs things.
It is all Disney, but yeah, the person actually running the show, where all questions, all decisions end at Kevin Feige, as we know right now, when it comes to a Marvel TV show or movie. Maybe, he talked with those actors and said, hey, this is what I'd like to do. If you want to come work with us, cool. Because, I mean, I haven't heard anybody say they don't like working for Kevin Feige. We've had lots of people, not happy with their Star Wars experience. Doesn't necessarily mean that, working with, the Marvel side of the house would be a bad thing. Okay. Plus, who doesn't want to be an action figure?
Oh, he already has been. Many action figures.
Most of them, his face is covered. Now it actually have his face on.
They did unmasked ones for Last Jedi because he didn't wear a mask there.
Yeah, a couple. But still, he'd be Reed Richards.
Listen, he had a mask on in the what was the first one of the new trilogy?
Force Awakens?
Yeah, he had a mask on him as much in that one as fucking Sylvester Stallone had in Judge Dredd.
That's fair.
Dredd 3D. It's the only Dredd that counts.
I mean, look, you don't cast some of these guys to have more a mask all the time. That's why it's very surprising that
I don't know.
Go and look at Mandalorian.
Yes, you do.
Pedro Pascal has very rarely been seen without his helmet on when he's playing the role. Although kudos to them this year for giving Lateef Crowder and Brandon Wayne credits in the credits.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's also why you get the actual stunt people doing the majority of the physical shit on set are getting credits in the show, which is awesome. As they did the same for I think Katie Sackhoff's main stunt woman as well this season.
Lateef Crowder was throwing
a lot of the Bo-Katan stuff,
and Lateef Crowder was throwing hands in that finale. Like, I don't know how you do some of that stuff in armor. I don't care if it's even stunt version of that armor. How do you move like that?
I still just don't get the idea of, like, the guy's wearing a helmet. Quit punching him in the face. There's a whole lot of guys with metal hands punching metal helmets. It's like, yeah, punch him in the throat, punch him in the crotch. Why would you punch him in the face? He's wearing a metal helmet.
You got to punch him in the groin like Danhausen does.
Exactly. Groin shot. Wapa! Johnny Cage.
You okay there, Willie? You didn't like my reference of a groin shot?
The old dick twist.
Ooh, ow. No one suggested that.
Give him the old dick twist.
It makes more sense than punching a guy in a helmet in the face. That's all I'm
Look,
saying.
I mean, Danhausen's logic was you punch him in the groin right before they ring the bell, and it's legal.
That's true.
Then you pin him.
If the match hasn't started.
A punch to the
all
groin.
good.
It'll solve everything. It'll solve everything.
And that way you know you got their attention.
All right, let's get into some of the other news here. Real quick, though, this one's too good to share about the vanishing legacy checkmark right now. From Damian Holbrook, who writes about a lot of TV shows and stuff like that. I originally was introduced to him when he was covering Smallville many years ago. Hilarious dude and really good at his television coverage. He goes, well, from now on, a blue checkmark is just digital lip filler. You look fake, but good at sucking.
Perfect. Perfect. The blue check mark is just DSL, digital DSL.
Digital DSL.
Gotta love it.
It's
The
better-
fact that, like, yeah, it's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
Look, it's better than
I wanna sit back
MLA,
in
like
here
they
and
introduced
enjoy
in the
this, 'cause
league.
It's like looking into a whole world. It's like
Let's say MLA when I'm
it's
drinking.
like watching a Bronies documentary.
We're watching a Bronies documentary?
That's what it feels like watching all these people care about these check marks and shit. Let's watch it.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic because most of the people that are losing them don't necessarily care as much about the prestige that some people attributed to it. It's more that if you're a celebrity or a news organization, it's a guarantee that you are who you say you are. Like, anyone could go and make... All right, let's use us, for example. Anyone could go and make a Willie D. Nelson Twitter account and say that they're you also. And we're small enough that they could say whatever they want and they could attribute some vile shit to you that you never actually said. Now imagine that on a bigger platform. Say you're Adam Driver. We'll use him as an example because we were just talking about him. And with the check mark gone, anyone can make an account that looks to be Adam Driver, and anyone can buy bots to pump up that follower account. And then anyone can say terrible bullshit and people at first glance will be like, what the fuck is Adam Driver saying there, or something like that. This is just an example. This hasn't actually happened as far as I know. The check mark gave legitimacy to folks. And there are some people that conflated the check mark with status on Twitter, which I don't think
I know
is a
what
deal.
check mark means and everything. I got it. It's just funny to see.
Yes.
It's just looking into a world that
What
I'm
is
not
more
part of
funny
that.
is the people that decided they'll pay Elon Musk $8 a month to have a check mark that does nothing besides make them have a check mark on Twitter.
That is also pretty funny.
That's really funny, and I'm like, the fuck, I don't get it. But whatever, it doesn't matter. It's entertaining, it's funny. Let's talk about news. We're gonna talk video game stuff real quick. There's a game coming out that I've been excited for. It's called Redfall. It's by Arcane Studios and Bethesda. Arcane is the same folks that did the Dishonored series. They did the what's the name of the game, that the Deathloop series, or not series, Deathloop game that's been out. And Arcane is doing this Redfall game, which is, it's not exactly this, but the best parallel is think like a Left 4 Dead vampire shooter type game, where it can be 1 to 4 players, I believe. They can cooperatively play through a campaign, stuff like that. And they've showed off a bunch of videos that looked really interesting for it. It's a game I've legitimately been interested in. Part of my interest stems from the fact that when it comes out, I think May 2nd is when it drops, it's a Game Pass Day 1 game for Xbox because, hey, that's what happens when you buy Bethesda. So I'll have a chance to play it. But the media press, or rather the press junket for it, hasn't really been great. They haven't been showing off a bunch of stuff, and people are starting to get concerned as to, is this a living game? Is this a play to win kind of game? There's a lot of unknowns, and we're, like 2 weeks out from launch. But by far one of the most interesting things that came out is, with shooter games, there's a big push right now, especially on modern hardware, to make sure that those will run at 4K 60 frames per second when they come out. You can have a performance mode and a quality mode. Generally, your performance mode, at a minimum, needs to be 60 frames per second. We've seen some of these other games push it up to 120. Quality up to 120. Performance be 60 frames per second, generally, at a minimum. Well, what came out about Arcane, what Arcane announced late last week, is that Redfall will be launching on Xbox Series X at 30 frames per second for their performance mode. And everyone went, wait, what? You're doing a performance mode at 30 frames per second? And there is a noticeable difference when you're playing a shooter between 30 to 60 frames per second. So there is a legitimate concern there. They did follow up and say they'll be patching in updates to allow it to go to 60 frames per second, but they gave no date on when that would be happening for either PC or Xbox. You want the additional kicker here for where this is kind of a kick in the dick for people who are excited about this game? Well, all of the sample footage they've showed off at conventions and on their YouTube channel and various game expos and stuff, they've been rendering it 60 frames per second for all of the demos that have been out there, for all of the example footage they've shown. Well, that's not happening at launch. And then when you go and look at the game's website, up until recently, everything was quoted saying the game will run 60 frames per second. Now, to be fair, it doesn't say 60 frames per second at launch, but I think we're playing a game of semantics if that's how you want to spin it.
Regardless, can I do the joke? Can I do the joke again?
Do the joke.
How you gonna patch in more frames in your games? How? How you put more frames in it from the internets? How?
Exactly. So it just seems kind of like a what the hell are we doing moment here, where there's legit criticism towards the Xbox side of the house. There's not a lot of first-party exclusives. This is a first-party exclusive, and they're fumbling the launch. I play games for fun. A game being 30 frames per second for me is not the end of the world. It's annoying, especially in shooters, because it just doesn't feel as smooth, but I can live with it. So I'm not as concerned, but if you're going to bill your game as running at 60 frames per second, and that's the expectation, you can't like 2 weeks beforehand be like, well, not going to happen. We're going to patch it in just so you can hit a release date. Now, maybe my opinion changes if we're talking like a week or two later. They're like, hey, here's the patch to hit 60 frames per second. We're dropping it now.
Also, they put down a timeline.
No, they didn't yet. That's the thing.
They didn't put down a timeline.
There's no timeline. They just said
timeline.
Later. Yes.
Jerry, there's no timeline.
So I think that's part of the problem is you have a lot of people that were excited about potentially purchasing the game that now I've seen, and let's bear in mind, Reddit is not how everyone reacts to things. But there were a lot of folks in Reddit, the more rational folks on our subreddit, that were looking at things going, I'm going to wait until the 60 frame per second patch comes out and then see what performance is like and then decide if I'm actually going to drop my coin for this game. Folks that have Game Pass, many of them were going, well, I have it for Game Pass. I'm already getting it as part of my subscription. I'll play it. And then there were others that were going, nah, I'm waiting for the patch to come out before I even try it. It's a very interesting oversight, and I think they misstepped again. And this game's been delayed at least once. Maybe I assume this is coming out now because they didn't want to have to delay it again, which makes me think that, this patch to get to 60 frames per second is probably not going to be a quick thing if they decided to split that out and not just delay the game, say, 2 weeks to make sure it's in there.
I'm not gonna lie, like, why wait for the patch? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be.
Some people are gameplay snobs, for lack of a better term.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Snobs. I was gonna say that comes off really snobbish. A little snobby. And like, I mean, I get it, but you don't like. Is it really a factor? You've been playing games at 30 frames a second for how long, and now it's a problem?
I think it's a slightly overblown concern from people. That being said, I get the consternation because this is something that's been promised and it's only been shown off 4K 60 frames per second at this point in time. So it feels like a bait and switch to people.
I guess this is particularly for the people who are waiting for the patch. That's what that's to. Specifically to the people like, no, I'll wait for it.
But if the game's going to be 30 frames a second at launch, show me videos, show me gameplay trailers at 30 frames a second. Don't show me some shit that your game can't do at launch.
That's valid.
Yeah, that's valid.
Because that is a bait and switch.
And I think some people hesitance in getting into this game is, okay, there are elements of things and skins and stuff like that, I believe, that you can pay to unlock stuff like that. And there's some people that are thinking, if you're going to bungle the launch of this game, I'm not sure this is something I want to jump into right at the very beginning so that I get invested in something that's just mismanaged. Let's call it the Anthem effect.
Yeah. So yeah, and it showed. I was looking at the Redfall, like the special edition has you get the first 4 characters and the next 2 characters unlocked. It's like, well, you're giving me characters for a game that you're not even doing the launch correctly yet. How do I even know those characters are going to come out?
That being said, they did do an interesting thing before this occurred. For folks that are Game Pass subscribers, you could upgrade to the limited edition, whatever version of the game for like $25, which I thought was. So you get the base game as part of your subscription. Then if you wanted to upgrade, you pay $25 basically to get the upgraded version, which was not
instead of having to buy. Yeah, instead of having to buy the actual like special edition.
Yep,
that's
actually not bad.
And to Bachman's point, it's kind of like Ultimate Alliance 3, that before the game even came out, you could pre-order the DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, we have a lot of things now that promise that this is the new norm now, though. Let's be honest. The game comes out and you already know there's going to be a season pass. There's going to be DLC of some kind.
At the time, they didn't combo it
That's
at
true.
all, though. It was just it was pre-order the game, and while you're pre-ordering the game, pre-order the DLC too.
The exception to the norm is God of War. Let's be honest. What other game can we think of recently that hasn't come out with some kind of DLC
I say
or
both of
expansion?
them have been.
I just finished God of War Ragnarok, and I'm halfway through my replay of Miles. Miles is just a game.
Miles is an expansion pack.
That
argument doesn't work.
Be DLC, but I mean, even Amazing had 3 DLCs with it. But yeah, Miles itself, it's a shorter game, but it is a complete game, and they never charge anything else for it.
Miles is a complete game that I think was supposed to be DLC originally that was too big that they spun out into its own game. Let's be honest here.
And
you know what? Awesome. I can see that. I won't argue against that.
And it's awesome and plays fantastic on the PS5.
I don't dispute that.
Awesome.
So pretty.
Yeah.
There ain't no bad talking about it.
I'm not talking bad.
I didn't say you were.
Because Willie, remember, when the new Spider-Man game comes out and they announce the PS5 Spider-Man edition, I'm jumping on the PS5 train with you boys.
No.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that when you said there hasn't been much about it, but because Spider-Man's coming out this fall, Spider-Man 2. There's been that one trailer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So part of me is starting to wonder.
Insomniac's working.
Part of me starting to.
I know. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to be amazed, but let's see this. Tony Todd already let slip out like the time frame.
So here's my concern, and it's just because I'm used to everything slipping anymore. Is no news generally means we're not going to hit the target date. So my concern is going to slip right. But
that's
all
right.
If
with
it means,
I think they're going to keep
6
it.
months later, a
I
year
hope
later.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think they're going to keep it. I mean, I don't know why.
What I want to see is we had PS4s were black, and then the Amazing Spider-Man edition was red. And so I'm hoping that what we see with now PS5s being white is that we get a Venom edition of the PS5 when Spider-Man comes out, to where it would be a black PS5 with the white logo on it. Like, that would be cool.
I mean, you can just get a new plate.
Yeah, you can just snap
or
the plates
paint on it.
now.
You're a fucking artist. Paint it.
Yeah, I got it stuck in a shelf. You can't even see it.
Well, then what are you arguing about?
Because I just don't like that it's white.
Jerry,
white electronics.
He's arguing about a point I didn't even
I
care
said
about.
the same thing when the PlayStation 5 came out, and Willie made fun of me
Wait, what did I make fun of you for?
for saying I didn't want a
Everything.
white electronic device in my cabinet.
Oh, trust me, I gave him a look when he said that the first part. I was like, wait, what are you talking about?
I've thought about painting mine, but yeah, because I have it on, it's not vertical. I have it horizontally on a shelf, and it's pushed back. All you can see is the front. It's like, I'm not going to waste time painting that.
Don't complain
Then
about
why are you
it.
bitching?
Because I'm still annoyed that it's white. I don't want white electronics.
You don't even see it.
I want a color choice.
He's doubling down.
That's right.
I'm not sure you have the leg to stand on if it's not openly displayed. Like,
I have no legs.
I have one of those corner built-in units in my living room, so like all of my electronics are out in the open, displayed there.
Display. Don't have any kids around.
I don't have kids around. Children
There you
scare
go.
me. They scare
Kids
me.
are the worst. But no, I'm hoping that's what we get. I hope we get a Venom edition of it, because I mean, we know that Venom's going to be in the game. It would be so cool to see a Venom edition PlayStation 5 with a Venom controller. Like, they could do a badass looking PS5 controller with Venom on it.
Artist.
Yeah, but I want to paint the controller. Then it rubs off.
Not if you do it right. There's whole modding scenes out there of people talking about how to properly mod consoles and controllers so that things are sealed.
I'm too busy painting little tiny guys to be painting anything else.
This should be easy in comparison to those.
Since
You're not
when are we
gonna
not
buy
allowed
it
to
anyway,
complain
are
about
you?
stuff? What the
You're
hell?
not gonna buy it anyway, are you?
What, a Venom PS5? Yeah, because then I can have that in here, and I can put the other PS5 in the living room.
Why do you need it in there if you can't see it? Put it out in the living room.
Oh no, if it was a Venom one, I would put it up to where I could see it.
Just
what the fuck is going on?
Just paint Venom on it.
I can argue anything. It doesn't matter if I have a leg to stand on.
It's not a good argument, though.
That's all right.
I want Venom on it. You're the one to do it. I'm not the one to do it.
You are
Chris,
the artist of the show.
I've still got more gold guys over here that aren't done yet. I got time to paint other shit yet. Actually, I got that black primer. I should just take the cover off my PS5 and just go prime the fucking thing.
It'd be fucking easy. You could just spray it.
Chris, there's a fan that wants to tell you that to say thanks for reminding him to cancel Netflix this month.
Oh, there you go.
I guess that's a callback from earlier.
Oh,
Not
is this
earlier
because
this
of the
episode.
increased pricing stuff?
Yeah.
Which nicely segues us over. Oh, that's not the news story anymore.
I just altered it. But I mean, they've been rolling it out in other countries, and so people have gotten a glimpse of it. But yeah, Netflix has got their password sharing stuff coming, so they're basically going to charge you to share passwords.
There's not enough stuff I watch for it to matter.
Yeah.
I watched the Power Rangers special yesterday, and I don't know what else I care about coming there right now.
Yeah, it's I just didn't want to focus on the negativity, but I did see there is a good thing coming for Netflix, which is kind of amazing. So this may be something I don't know if that person that's planning on canceling their Netflix will want to reconsider. But they have a trailer out now for a new show called Fubar, which, if you don't know, is fucked up beyond all recognition. And for the first time in his career, Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be on the equivalent of a TV show. Fubar it's kind of written as like kind of an alternate version of what was the hell was the Lie movie? James Cameron, Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, True Lies.
True Lies, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not based. So it has nothing to do with the Canadian comedy show Fubar.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
This is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then I believe it's his daughter. Are both characters who are secretly working for the CIA and have been lying to each other like their whole lives. Neither one of them knows that the other one works in the CIA. And it's a Netflix show starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, which he's never done anything but movies. Kind of interesting to see what they do with this, especially if you've seen some of the crazy stuff that he's done lately, like Kill Gunther. Like, Schwarzenegger's down to do some funny-ass, weird stuff lately. It doesn't all have to be, the world's greatest action movie ever. Like, he'll have fun in things. And so the fact that they're doing, like a CIA action drama on Netflix starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that show, because that could be fun as hell.
Side note, I literally just canceled my Netflix plan as we were talking right now because I meant to do it.
Also,
I'd been a
I should
member.
Tell him you're welcome for reminding you.
And as I did that, I'd been a member since May 2013. My plan runs out May 2023. So 10 years of Netflix.
10 years. 10 years of Netflix, and he's giving up the ghost.
I'm not watching it enough right now, so it's gone.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I just canceled my Apple Music today. Because, nope, my free trial period's over. Done with that.
And you saw Netflix, I believe, beginning next month, will stop sending DVDs out. The DVD side of the house is closing, too.
Which makes me sad. That used to be my favorite thing, was getting those Netflix DVDs in the mail.
Yeah, I used to do it too.
That's how I watched all of the seasons of Dexter. Was like 4 episodes at a time on disc.
Jeez,
that sounds like a pain in the ass.
We're old.
No, it was great because I had the account where I had 3 discs, so I would literally have one that was going back in the mail, one that I was watching, and another one would be on its way. And so I was just constantly moving discs through my mailbox.
So you were the one that was a problem when I was trying to get a disc because you had 3 at a time and one would sit there for 2 weeks while you finished the other 2.
No, because I would almost always had at least one was in the mail.
Gotcha.
So either one was coming or going back. Like I went through those shows fast. Every once in a while, yeah, a movie would sit there for a week or two before I'd watch it. But yeah, usually, I mean, yeah, because I used to love it because I actually loved the fact that you had the two different like watch lists. Like there was a time where like I was seriously into that, where I had that stuff updated constantly, and whatever I was going to watch next was the number one on my Netflix list. And then when stuff would get moved off of the disc list to the you can watch it on the instant play list, like that stuff got bumped up to the top of my queue. I instantly watched it, and it was off both lists. Yeah, that especially like when I was working and living by myself. Yeah, I tore through so many shows and movies that way because having those two, and between the two at the time, Netflix had the access to almost every show, everything on TV, movies. Like they had all of it. It was awesome. I will miss the disc, but yeah, I haven't had them for a while.
It's true. Yeah, I saw that Schwarzenegger series, and at some point in time there'll be another show coming to Netflix that I'm ready to watch again, and I'll just re-up my subscription instead of where I am right now, which is there's some months where I might only watch like a couple shows on the Netflix, and I'm probably not getting my money's worth out of it. So I probably should have canceled sooner. But them changing it so that now my dad, if he wants to watch Netflix, causes me to get charged more on what I'm already paying being too expensive per month. Nah, fuck those guys.
That's going to be interesting, yeah, because we have family members that have shared accounts with us, basically. So, yeah, I'm halfway through Longmire, so I'm still currently watching a show that I've never seen before that I'm enjoying. So, like, I've got something that we have, multiple shows that the two of us watch on Netflix that we like. But, yeah, at some point, if that price goes up, it may have to go away for a while and then wait till all 8 episodes of Fubar are out and then get it for a month and see if I like it.
And I'm not gonna lie, Hulu has a lot of good movies if you're trying to look for movies.
Yeah.
Look, and there's compelling things that you can get as bundles. Like I have Walmart Plus, which comes with Paramount Plus, so I have Paramount Plus as part of that.
I'm sorry, you have what the fuck is Walmart Plus?
It's their
Isn't
Amazon
that
Prime
delivery?
competitor that does
it's
free delivery and
no
stuff like
idea
that.
they even had that.
Yeah, so just background, I think it was around Black Friday they did a deal that was first year of Walmart Plus for $49, and I said, okay, I'll try it, which gives you free shipping on anything regardless of the cost, and it's like 2-day shipping, but also gives you free delivery from the store. So like if I didn't want to go to the grocery store, for instance, I could place my order and Walmart delivers my groceries to my door and anything else I would want from Walmart at the same time too.
Yeah.
No, that can't be
which is not bad.
profitable for them.
Well, I would assume not. And then I think with the Walmart Plus stuff, you also get like 3% back on Walmart purchases as in-store cash. So like they encourage you to come back because you make in-store money basically so that you can buy other shit. So I've actually found my buying shifting slightly where I've got some stuff that I will look on Amazon and go, wait, I should look on Walmart and see if it's there. And it'll often get to my house quicker and for the same price and then give me 2 or 3% back and Walmart rewards. So it's actually shifted things, and honestly Amazon Prime I'm getting less utility out of, which is another one of those services. Had it for ages, may not need it anymore, may just subscribe to Prime Video when The Boys comes out and stuff like that.
I was about to say, I keep forgetting Amazon Prime Video is a thing. I keep forgetting about it.
I had Prime for the bonus for the features that it gave me, not necessarily for the streaming content. They do have a decent library of stuff on there, especially now that they own MGM. So like all of the Bond movies are on there. Oh, yeah. All of Stargate's on there. Stuff like that.
Is it all the Bond ones?
Yes. All the ones that are owned by MGM. There's that one knockoff one that I don't think they own.
Then there is one that
but it's not actually a real
but I think was it Thunderball? Was that the one that was I can't remember which one it was.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the one that's not owned by the Brussels family or
broccoli.
Brussels broccoli. What's the difference?
He knew they were a vegetable.
It's a green thing. Come on.
I got Amazon Prime for freaking Invincible and The Boys, but it's like, well, right now neither one of those is coming out. It's like, I went and canceled it, but I had paid for the year, so yeah, I still have Amazon Prime until September. It's like, well, eventually it'll run out. In the meantime, though.
Hey, free shipping then. So the meantime.
Yeah, free shipping till then. I mean, yeah, I love some of the shows that are on there, but yeah, like I don't really need it that much, and I'm not ordering things the way I used to. So
what it came down to for me is when Amazon Prime runs out, I'll probably stick with the Walmart Plus because it gives me Paramount Plus, which has more content that I watch than Amazon Prime, and gives me the same benefits and better benefits because I can get same-day delivery on a bunch of stuff for no added cost. I mean, why not do that? I could be like, oh, damn, I want some beef jerky, and it'd be a real asshole move of me. I could order it delivered to my house that day. Now, people who don't tip their delivery drivers on that are assholes. I do tip very well when I have groceries delivered because I know it's a pain in the ass if I'm buying $150 worth of groceries for someone to drop them all off at my door. So there's a pretty hefty tip I'll put on there, but that convenience is pretty nice for me. And I think if you didn't do that, the delivery fee would be like $15. So oftentimes I look at it this way: the delivery fee is waived, so I treat the delivery fee plus more as the tip when I do it.
That works. Yeah, 'cause, as long as you're tipping those people, I mean, I've never had anything like show up because I've had, at this point, I don't know, we've had Walmart delivery because I had the PlayStation delivered here. But I haven't had their food service. But yeah, we've had food delivered from like Fred Meyer's, from Albertsons. Like, it's a pretty good service other than the whole thing. It's like, oh, if we can't find the one item you wanted, we'll substitute something or not charge you for it. It's like, well, either one is risky because either you're not going to get what you ordered or you're going to get something that's somewhat vaguely like what you ordered.
Right.
But I mean, other than that, it's kind of nice to be able to be like, oh, hey, Albertsons, I need, 4 cases of, seltzer water and some hamburger for dinner tonight. Deliver that shit between 3 and 5.
Yeah, make it snappy.
They have time windows.
3 and 5.
Look,
they have time windows.
They do. They have a
time after.
Willie, you have to reserve a time window for them to deliver.
Yeah.
And
I have no idea. I've never used a damn one of these things.
And I know
Capiche!
With the Walmart app, at least, when the delivery driver is out, it sends you a notification saying, hey, your delivery is on the way. And it's GPS tagged, so you can literally see where they are as they come to your house.
Yeah, I don't think Albertsons or Freddy's has that just because it's a smaller service, but it makes sense for Walmart to do it.
I mean, and Walmarts are everywhere. There's 2 Walmarts within a 5-minute drive of my house. Well, 10 really. But I guess that does wrap up our news of the week. We are time limited, so we've got a little over 12-ish minutes until we got to get out of here. So let's wrap things up as we normally do. A quick rapid-fire edition of What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you fine folks watching live or listening at a later date the geeky and nerdy things we may get into, because, hey, you may want to check it out yourselves. And I'll kick things off quickly. I'll be watching the finale of Star Trek Picard this evening. Haven't seen it yet, but I was very excited that in episode 9, which had not aired during our last episode, they brought back the Enterprise D, which is my favorite Star Trek ship of all time. Willie just likes that I call it the Big D.
Chris loves the D.
I love the D. It's my favorite. It's better than the E. But the E looks prettier on screen. Neither here nor there. I did watch the Netflix special 30th anniversary Power Rangers episode. If you like the Power Rangers, it's fun. It's kind of cool to see some of the old Power Rangers come back and do that role again, and how they write out the fact that Choi Trang died in 2000, I think it was. So they kill off her character very early on, and her daughter becomes the new Saber-Tooth Tiger Power Ranger in the end.
Which is very cool. Yeah.
It was interesting.
Character's daughter or actor's daughter?
The character's daughter. So it was fun. I enjoyed that. There's reasons why some of the other characters didn't appear, and then at the end of the show they do kind of a farewell to Jason David Frank and Chui Trang, who have both passed, that were part of the early on cast. I guess JDF wasn't original cast technically, but the character of Tommy Oliver is in the show, just not with.
I mean, it was within the first season, right?
That is correct. It was like halfway through the first season.
I'd still say it's original.
Yeah.
If it's within the first season, all that transpired.
Yeah. Let's see what else.
Who's gonna nitpick you? Who the fuck would nitpick you on that? Let's show me.
The
internet fans.
I'll fucking fight all of you. I'll pull a Jane Silent Bob, pull a list of all your houses, and go fly to each one of you and punch you right in the nutsack.
That's fair. Also,
right in the Enterprise D.
Also, last night did get caught up on Ted Lasso. Watched the most recent episode, and that show is just always delightful. And again, once once Ted Lasso's season is done, I'll be canceling my Apple TV Plus. Like this is the new normal for us. But I love that show so much. It's great. And there's a bunch of other stuff I need to watch on there, because there's the Harrison Ford comedy show that I want to watch too. It's his first time doing a comedy television show with Jason Segel as his co-star.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it looked very interesting. So I'll be watching that. I started playing Ghostwire Tokyo, I believe is the name of the game. It hit Game Pass and Xbox last week. I started playing, but I only got to play about 30, 40 minutes, so it's not enough to have anything other than a general impression of, yeah, I'm having fun with this so far. I am playing it with the original Japanese voices and with subtitles, and I may just swap over to the dubbed version. I haven't decided. Does that make me a heathen?
It's hard to read the screen and play a game at the same time.
Willie's like, I just don't
read slow.
The only dub Yakuza games are the very first one on the PS2, not any of them that were remade or anything, just that one on the PS2, and the very last one that came out of the main series. That's it. Those are the only ones that are dubbed.
V's in the chat room says it does make me bad, a heathen, if I don't. If I change it.
I don't care what you choose.
I'm just saying that's part of my thought process. What else am I getting into? Nothing too consequential. That's all I've been getting into. I'm going to kick things over. Mr. Willie Nelson, you can go next. I see you got Piggly Wiggly t-shirt on. What else you been getting into?
I keep forgetting that.
I like Piggly Wiggly. I don't have one here. It makes me nostalgic.
Let me just put that needle on that broken record, because I'm going to say it again. I'm still going through Yakuza 5. There is nothing that can stop me. This story is getting so good, and it's so dense.
I know it could stop you.
I've played through at least chapters 1 and 2 fully. I started in chapter 3, part 1. And that felt like a whole game, chapters 1 and 2. And I know there's at least 3 more chapters plus that small little bit too. There's so much game in Yakuza 5. So the whole game's a 3D beat 'em up, and all of a sudden, chapter 3, part 1, you start up as Haruka, Kiryu's adoptive daughter, and she's training to become a pop idol. And this is what the game turns into. You're controlling her, going around the city, getting in dance battles. That is kind of like DDR for your fingers. It uses both the D-pad and the face buttons. And that's what it turned into. Just 20 minutes earlier, I was slamming people's faces into concrete. And now all of a sudden,
you're a pop
DDR
idol DDR
dancing.
Star. Wow. All
right.
And
I fucking love it. I'm all here for it. Bring me more. I'm going around the town saying, dance battle. Dance battle.
What do you get for dance battles?
Experience for more dance battle and rage.
Does it give you items too as part of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just like a regular battle in most other kind of RPGs, only it's a dance battle.
And now there's a whole side mission thing where you're also, like I said, you're trained to be a pop idol. So you have a job little board that you go look at your schedule to see what you opened up and can do next.
Ooh.
And there's a bunch of different little mini games for that where you actually you challenge it. You're like on a show where a pop idol challenges another pop idol thing, and you're playing 9-ball, or you're throwing darts, or you're bowling. It's just a bunch of different other things. There's a little mini game where you have to shake hands with the fans, and you have to make sure the tosser guy who says you've shook hands long enough to get him out. Make sure he's not doing it too overzealously. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing these pop idol girls have to go through. And I've just begun. I feel for them. Woo.
Weird.
That's pretty much what I've been getting into.
Well, not bad. Let's wrap things up. Mr. Bachman, what have you been getting into?
Let's see. Try to think of the movies we watched this week. I watched Cocaine Bear also because that popped up on Premium Peacock Plus. It's actually way better than it has any right to be. It's a hilarious movie. I don't feel bad for Ray Liotta with that being like the last thing he did. His last posthumous film that's released. It's still way better than Raul Julia as M. Bison. The fact that Ray Liotta kind of entered a lot of our lives as the guy yelling to Karen about cocaine, and he his last cinematic feat seems to be, shooting at a bear that was on cocaine. It was a fucking funny movie. It was way better than I thought it was. O'Shea Jackson Jr. is fantastic in it. He's great. That kid is such a good actor. It's ridiculous.
Was that the paramedic guy?
No, he's one of the guys that Ray Liotta's character sends to go get the drugs back from the woods.
Which
So, like,
one,
he-
the bigger or the smaller one?
The O'Shea Jackson Jr.?
Yeah.
He would be the African American one. Is
Oh.
Ice Cube's son.
I didn't know. I don't recognize the name. A man guy.
Yeah, you don't know who O'Shea Jackson is? Ice
No,
Cube.
I never watched that movie about the. I don't remember what the movie was called. I never watched it.
Straight Outta Compton, where
Yeah.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. played O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah, I just never. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no.
That's his name.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah, it's Ice Cube Jr. Yeah, he's a great fucking actor.
Looked
But yeah, he's really good in Cocaine Bear.
Ice Cube.
Also-
Ice Cube. I'm gonna call him Ice Cube.
Last night on Netflix, we watched Inheritance, which is a Simon Pegg film where Patrick Warburton dies, and his daughter, part of her inheritance is she finds out that her dad has kept a dude locked in a bunker on their property for like 30 years. And the movie is all about finding out why he's there. And so it's Simon Pegg who's playing a character who's been locked in a room for 30 years, and the daughter deciding, like, basically whether or not she should let him out or kill him. Because, like, she's the DA of New York. Her brother's running for the Senate. Her mom runs this giant corporation now because her dad died. Like, the whole family is, like, a very big, public, like, powerful family. And they have had a secret in the basement for 30 years that nobody knew about except the dad. It's a fucking weird movie. It's also a really good performance by Simon Pegg, and it's not something you've ever seen him do before, which is probably why he wanted to do this film. I'd say it's worth watching just for Simon Pegg. So yeah, if you've still got Netflix, watch Inheritance. It was really entertaining. We've been playing a little bit of DBD with Jana with the new update. They finally made the blood web more fucking workable. Something that should have been in the game 3 years ago. Yeah. Other than that, there's no other good nothing good to say about this update. It's they basically took healing away from half the healing perks in the game.
Find a
It's
teammate.
atrocious. It's just atrocious.
That's
but
how
yeah,
I've been playing this entire time. It ain't changing my play style.
the Bloodwed update is great. The rest of it, but yeah,
Not
then
changing me.
that and then yeah, I'm about 60% of the way through Miles on PS5 and just enjoying the hell out of that game. It's the storyline, of course, is exactly the same. It just looks even better than it did on PS4. And then I have base coded 4 of my 5 Liberators behind me. I'm going to put the gold on the 5th one today, the team leader, who's got his nice little like red plume on him. And then yeah, once they've all got their gold base code, I can go back and do the little touch-ups and clean up all the details, slap a layer of contrast on them to make them look all dark and grimy, and then go back through and do the highlights, finish those guys up. And yeah, it's the first time I've done batch coding, batch painting, and so yeah, working on 5 characters at the same time is way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. I literally, one night was going through and like doing like all of the blue pieces on their shields and their shoulder pads. Got done with all of them and then looked down, and like one of them I had like completely missed one of the shoulder pads. It's like, okay, so this is the problem with batch painting, is that you have to make sure you're checking every little thing along the way, because you mix a certain amount of paint, you try to get it on all the characters so that if you're mixing a shade or something, you have to have enough paint to where everything matches on all 5 of them so they look like a cohesive unit. Yeah, it's been fun, and I'm learning a bunch, and it's painting miniatures is just a blast because it's nice and therapeutic, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So Warhammer has me hooked like a motherfucker right now.
Nice.
Yeah, and then, of course, yeah, things are getting down to the wire. Yesterday, we went and picked up our marriage certificate. So,
Ooh, shit.
yeah, big doings. We got official documents, and yeah, we got like I got like 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Yeah, May 4th is coming. I'm about to get hitched.
Congratulations, of course.
And then, yeah, I think because of that, I think I'm going to miss like at least 2 weeks I won't be here.
Oh, no.
Because, yeah, we're getting married on a Thursday, and then we're
Makes
honeymooning for a week. So, yeah, I will probably be gone for 2 weeks.
Willie, how are we going to cope? How are we going to cope? What are we going to do with ourselves?
I got no reason to look over here anymore then.
We'll have to just do all split screens. But on that note, we are going to shut things down. Before we do, just more of the Twitter meltdowns hilarious. Some people are very funny with theirs. Danhausen says, Danhausen is no longer famously verified thanks to the suckiest suck that ever sucked, that menace Elron monks. Danhausen will now begin donating $8 human a month to the sewer.
Don't pay him for it, Danhausen. Don't pay
He's
him
not.
for it.
Matt Cardona, who you might know formerly as Zack Ryder in the WWE, very big on the indie wrestling circuit, tweeted directly, "Hey, at Elon Musk, you removed my check mark, but my wife gets to keep hers. Why? Because she works for WWE? That's discrimination. And as the indie god and internet champion, I will not allow this. I will fight for the rights of my fellow independent workers." And then 4 minutes later, oops, never mind, hers is gone too. Well, fuck, I deserve mine.
Nice.
If you're not watching the stuff that Matt Cardona is doing on the indies, it's fantastic right now. He's currently the indie god and wears an Indiana Jones hat and jacket to the ring all the time.
A fedora?
Nice.
Yes. A fedora. It's gold. On that note, though, we are going to start shutting things down because I have to jump on something here in 8 minutes. So thank you, everyone, for joining us this week. We'll be back next week for more of our typical brand of horseshit shenanigans. Before we shut this down, though, you guys have any final thoughts for the people? You got nothing for the people?
The Enterprise D's nuts. I had to. I've been holding it in this whole time.
I'm sad.
I feel so satisfied.
Willie.
Let it wash over me.
Willie's satisfied and I'm sad, but I get to go watch the Enterprise D on TV one last time here in a little bit. So on that note, we're getting out of here. Thanks so much and see you all next week. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.